I'm going to be demoing a new project of mine to create turnkey AI toolsets called memcp. The starting point in the developer experience would be using the memcp command to initialize a new project. So we can use memcp init demo project. And this gives us a new project that we can take a look inside. We can see that there are a lot of parts that might look familiar because what we just generated was a standard TypeScript code base. And at the epicenter of this is the memcp.yaml file. By default, we've generated a basic demo project with demo toolsets. So there are two main things we see here. A memory bank is a built-in tool that serves up markdown file documentation from a folder, and a provider is a bundle of MCP tools that can be built through simple composable functions. We can have as many providers as we want, and they will all run in separate processes that are orchestrated by memcp. Right now, everything works in TypeScript and JavaScript, but the framework is in place to have toolsets that could be built with any language. We can take a peek at the calculator.ts file, and we can see each tool in Calculator is created just by passing in a schema and an execute function. These get wrapped up in a provider that can initialize and track state for a particular group of tools and take care of various lifecycle events for reloading and reinitializing tools as configuration changes. Then the memory bank folder can just contain any structure of markdown files, and they will be presented through tooling that allows the AI to navigate, discover, and fetch markdown documentation that's relevant to the task it's working on. I will note that this is an area of the framework that still needs a lot of work. Right now, for the proof of concept, there's just a simple memory bank fetch tool that gets exposed to accept a URI of a memory bank file. The idea being that we could have an index file at the root that links to other memory bank files, and the agentic AI could use that to navigate. To make this more useful, I do have plans to build things that will implement all sorts of retrieval augmented generation strategies like semantic search, re-ranking, and fetching groups of documents. So all of this comes together with the memcp tooling, where I can pull this repository down that just got created, and I can either run memcp start to serve this bundle of tools, or memcp dev to serve this bundle of tools in a way that will have robust hot reload capabilities. Here, memcp acts as a sort of process orchestrator where it launches runtimes for all the providers that are listed, watches them for changes, and hot reloads as needed. It wraps everything up into a single MCP interface that can connect to any MCP compatible tool. So now I want to connect this to an MCP inspector that's going to allow us to see what's going on and execute some basic operations to see the result. We can use some of the basic functions from our calculator provider and see that they return the correct result. And we can also try grabbing some documentation from our memory bank. So let's try creating a tool of our own. Every new memcp project gets bootstrapped with an llms.txt file in the standard LLMs text format. This is essentially documentation structured in a way that is especially friendly to facilitate LLM understanding, and it has all the documentation needed to understand how to build tools, providers, and configuration for memcp. So we're actually going to use this file and ask the AI assistant to do this for us. Part of the power of memcp is that not only can we quickly write new MCP tools, but we can leverage the entire ecosystem of npm to do this. So let's install a computer algebra system called Algebrite and just add a new tool in here. We're going to tell the AI to read llms.txt to understand how to work in this code base, and then use the Perplexity tool to get documentation on Algebrite, an npm package for computer-assisted algebra. Then create a new tool in the calculator provider that will do simple Algebrite evals and return the value. This is a demo tool to test functionality in a simple way. Now we can watch the agentic AI do its thing, and we will fast forward this and we'll see the result hopefully in just a second. And here we have the inline Algebrite tool that our AI just created for us. We can flip over to the server and see that as soon as it was saved, it quickly hot reloaded. And now we can go to the MCP inspector and reload and hopefully use our new tool here. So let's give that a try. So this is what memcp is all about. Building new tools is so low friction that we can hop over to our memcp project while it's running, tell the AI agent to research and build out any integration we want, and switch back to our main work stream and use that new tool without skipping a beat. So the grand vision here is that through this process, I could build a sort of brain for my AI tooling setup, and anyone here could install the memcp command, pull down my version controlled repo, and have a turnkey smart AI setup that's finely tuned to the needs of a company or a team.